Yeah, we do.
You're inside the all-new House of Public Discourse Radio.com. The house is an area in social media where individuals can come together to discuss societal issues, and from that discussion influence political action. Welcome to the house,
where our house is your house.
Good evening, House of Public Discourse Forum. How are you doing? This is Johnny. Got Christopher Witt Diamont with us tonight. I will first of all, before we get started, I want to say thank you to everyone for your well wishes that you have sent out to me. But we've got some really important things to talk about tonight, and it really is, we're asking the question, whatever happened to the 15th Amendment? But before we do that tonight, Chris, we want to talk about Julian Assange a little bit. And I got a clip here, and we're going to start tonight's program out with Democracy Now!, a little clip. And after this clip, you can weigh in on what your thoughts are here. We're talking about First Amendment rights here.
Turn now to a major development in the case of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who the U.S. State Department is pushing to extradite from Britain. Assange faces up to 175 years in prison if brought to the United States, where he's been indicted for violations of the Espionage Act related to the publication of classified documents, which many say expose U.S. war crimes. Now, one of the main witnesses in that extradition case has come forward to admit he made false claims against Assange for exchange in immunity from prosecution. The revelation came in an interview with the convicted Icelandic hacker, Siggi Þórðarson, for a detailed article published by the Icelandic biweekly Stundin. It suggests the U.S. Justice Department collaborated with Þórðarson to generate the indictment for Assange that was submitted to the British courts. U.S. prosecutors issued a new superseding indictment against Assange in June 2020 that refers to Þórðarson as a teenager and Iceland as NATO country one, and says Assange encouraged him to, among other things, quote, commit computer intrusion and steal audio recordings of phone conversations between Icelandic officials. The Stundin article cites previously unpublished documents and chat logs showing how Þórðarson falsely presented himself as a prominent WikiLeaks representative. Stundin reports that, in fact, quote, all indications are that Þórðarson was acting alone without any authorization, let alone urging from anyone inside WikiLeaks.
Well, there you go.
Yep, there it is. Fabricating evidence. It's the oldest trick in the book. Fabrication of evidence, and it's easy to do. It's easy to do if you've got somebody that, knows how to do it.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's a red herring. It's a red herring, and now it's come up. State Department is still trying to get him, but the State Department, I don't understand why they're upset with Julian Assange. Why aren't they upset with Hillary Clinton, who stole that $5 billion? They never did find it. When she took over the State Department as Secretary of State, they never found that $5 billion. But anyway, Julian Assange is a first-rate journalist. was for a very long time. But when he started, getting under the skin of the U.S. government was when those emails started showing real malfeasance and war crimes, like prosecutable war crimes. At that point, he became persona non grata. But the actual truth of it is that Daniel Ellsberg came forth and said that Julian Assange didn't do anything different than what he had done, publishing things that were formerly classified for the public weal and welfare. At what point people have to have someone looking out for their interests and not letting the government continue to hide evidence and crimes? So a real journalist, of course, is going to side with the people and the public's right to know, especially when the government is hiding crimes that it's committed, which are actually illegal. So to reveal an illegal crime becomes illegal? No, that's why we
Right.
have the First Amendment. That's why we have the First Amendment. What I've just said right there sums up the entire thing in a nutshell. The constitutionality of America is it's the glue that holds us together. And right now it's under severe attack of all institutions, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is attacking the Constitution. Thank God we've got a real attorney general, but they're abandoning the First Amendment. They're going after Julian Assange with a fabricated and trumped up case, First Amendment, and now the 15th Amendment has been, run over by their last ruling. 5 days ago? Run over, saying,
Right.
states, no racism. I mean, the 15th Amendment specifically states that no state has the right to take away a person's right to vote due to ethnicity, race. They got listed 20 things there, all of which the GOP is doing right now. So where's the Supreme Court defending the 15th Amendment? There's a void in space, so it's up to you and me to make sure that void disappears, like yesterday, like immediately, like now.
Well, you're going to have to help me out a little bit, Chris, because, this is my first broadcast back from being a little bit under the weather here.
Well,
And
you're doing pretty good for under the weather. Let me tell you this.
okay,
I think
but
that
but
I,
I've got some bullet points here.
here we
Uh,
go.
the right of the citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of
Yes,
race, color, or previous condition of servitude, which I see that in modern day times for people who've committed felons and paid their
also,
price for that.
yeah, yeah, and definitely that. And going even back to them denying people the right to vote who committed crimes when they were juveniles. When they were juveniles, they were denying them to vote. So there's a whole history behind this. But the 15th Amendment is pretty clear that not the federal government nor the states have the right to deprive people of voting. Basically, what they're saying, for any reason. You know what I mean? They're looking at it as the ethnicity issue, but what we're really looking at is the class issue. The poorer people are usually black, brown, and the working poor especially. So we're looking at those that do not have a lot in society, but deserve the right to vote. That's exactly what the GOP is trying to take away, by, exiting polling places, making impossible schedules. I mean, it was bad enough with that guy Kemp in Florida when he took all the voting machines and hid them in a warehouse on voting
Yeah.
day. And there was like 1,000 of them,
Well, the 15th Amendment, which sought to protect the voting rights of African American men after the Civil War, was adopted into the U.S. Constitution in 1870, despite the amendment by the late 1870s. Discriminatory practices were
Jim
used
Crow.
to prevent black citizens from exercising their right to vote, especially
Jim
in the
Crow.
South. Yeah, everywhere, but it happened. It was happening everywhere. So, in a nutshell, the 15th Amendment protects the right of the Americans to vote in elections to elect their leaders, and that's what they're trying to fight against, because they're seeing that They can't beat us in the polls, so they got to beat us in the courts.
Yep. It's this is why Mitch McConnell was packing all those conservative judges in there, and now we've got 6 losers on the Supreme Court. 6 losers. I mean, they're terrible. The guy that wrote this thing is terrible. So what we've got really is this radicalized runaway Supreme Court. We're going to have to expand the court to at least 11, maybe 13. People. People are already fighting against it with the GOP and their operatives in the Democratic Party. That we just could never do that. We're going to have to do that.
Hey, Chris.
We're going to have to do that.
Hey, Chris, look, I'm going to have to cut this short. I've got a little issue going on over here, and we'll have to pick up. We're going to have to pick up on this tomorrow night, okay?
Well, we've done a great preamble, so people are ready to where we're going to go on next, which is going to be the 15th Amendment. Got it.
Yeah, I got to take care of some things right quick.
That's no problem. I'll be there tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you.